Have you ever left a conversation feeling smaller than when you walked in? Like you came in confident and somehow left apologizing for something you're still not sure you did. Maybe it was a friend, maybe a partner, maybe, and stick with me here, it was you, doing it to someone else without even clocking it. Manipulation rarely looks like a villain twirling a mustache. Most of the time it looks like kindness. It sounds like concern. It even feels like love. That's what makes it so hard to catch in the act. Today, we're breaking down 5 psychological patterns that quietly reveal when someone's pulling your strings. And by the end, you might recognize a face. Maybe theirs, maybe yours. First sign, reality starts to feel negotiable. You remember a conversation clearly. They promised. You have the receipts in your head. But when you bring it up, they tilt their head, almost hurt, and say, "That's not what happened." You always twist things, and the strange part? You start doubting yourself, not them. This is gaslighting, a term borrowed from a 1944 film where a husband slowly convinces his wife she's losing her mind. The mechanism is quiet but devastating. Calm, repeated denial of your reality, especially delivered without anger, erodes your trust in your own memory over time. It's not one big lie, it's 1,000 tiny erosions, like water wearing down stone. Is there someone who makes you say, "Maybe I'm overreacting" a little too often? That phrase, on repeat, is a signal worth noticing. Then there's the second sign. Guilt shows up before you've even done anything wrong. This one's sneaky because it doesn't feel like control. It feels like consideration. You mention plans with friends and suddenly, "Oh, that's fine. Go ahead. I'll just sit here alone again." No one yelled. No one forbade anything. But you're already picturing them alone on the couch before you've even grabbed your keys. Psychologists call this emotional leverage, using guilt or disappointment as a quiet lever to steer your choices without ever making a direct request. It taps into reciprocity bias. We feel we owe something when someone appears to sacrifice for us, even when that sacrifice was manufactured. And here's the twist. The people most vulnerable to this pattern are usually the most empathetic ones. Your kindness becomes the very thing used against you. Another profile. The compliment that somehow leaves a bruise. "Wow, you actually pulled that off. I'm impressed. I really didn't think you had it in you." Wait, was that a compliment? This is what's known as a backhanded appraisal. And it works because praise and criticism arrive fused together, so your brain doesn't know which reaction to have. Psychologically, this keeps you off balance and hungry for approval. You find yourself trying harder next time, chasing a version of validation that never fully arrives because it's designed not to. It's control disguised as encouragement. If you've ever felt smaller after being complimented, that confusion wasn't an accident. Then there's a fourth sign, and it's a personal favorite of manipulators everywhere: the moving goalpost. You meet every condition they set. You apologize, you change, you bend over backward, and somehow it's still not enough. Well, if you really loved me, you'd also. This relies on what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. Because the reward, their approval, is unpredictable and just out of reach, you don't walk away, you try harder. Your brain, chasing that occasional payoff, keeps pulling the lever, convinced the next attempt will finally be the one that satisfies them. Spoiler, it rarely is, because the goalpost was never meant to stay still. And the fifth sign, maybe the quietest of all, is the slow disappearance of your outside world. At first, it feels romantic. "I just want it to be us." Your friends don't really get you like I do. One conversation at a time, your circle shrinks. This is an isolation tactic, common not just in romantic relationships, but friendships and even workplaces. The fewer outside perspectives you have, the more the manipulator becomes your only source of truth and comfort. It rarely announces itself as controlling. It announces itself as devotion. By the time you notice how few people you talk to anymore, the person who caused it is usually the one comforting you about how alone you feel. Here's a twist worth sitting with, though. None of this makes someone a movie villain. Manipulation is often a learned survival pattern, something picked up in a chaotic childhood where being direct never worked, but guilt and confusion did. Understanding that doesn't excuse it, but it explains why manipulation hides so well, wrapped in the language of love, concern, or logic. So, which one landed closest to home? The doubt that crept into your own memory, the guilt that showed up uninvited, the compliment that stung, the goalpost that kept moving, or the slow shrinking of your world? Maybe it was someone you know. Maybe, if we're being honest, it's a pattern you've used yourself without meaning to. Either way, naming it is the first shift in power. Manipulation only works in the dark, and you just turned on the light. If this helped you put words to something you couldn't quite explain before, stay a while. This channel breaks down the psychology behind the moments that shape us, one honest pattern at a time.